Hello, and welcome to day two of IWMF's 2022 Virtual Educational Forum. This is our 27th annual Ed Forum and our third year in a row to be completely virtual. Yesterday was just incredible. And so, what can we expect today? Well, we're going to hear from expert presenters. We're going to talk about topics including, quality of life. We're going to enjoy some networking opportunities and have some fun playing WM trivia. And hopefully we'll have some winners that will be able to gather some swag from the IWMF online store. My name is Newton Guerin, and I'm IWMF President and CEO. And on behalf of all of us, I just want to welcome everyone to our session today. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, we're so glad that you've joined us to really share in another day of living, learning, and thriving with WM. Yesterday, for those of you who were with us, Pete DeNardis reported on how many people have signed up for this year's Ed Forum, and as of today, those numbers have increased just a little bit. But we now have over 1,200 registrants from 33 countries, and of that total, 550 are first-time Ed Forum attendees. So we are want to just wish you a special welcome to our first-time attendees. Carl Harrington yesterday reminded us that with the IWMF, you are never alone, and Pete really took the time to sort of spell out, how we go about, ensuring that with the IWMF you're never alone. He really shared with us all of our information, education, and support programs that are available to patients and caregivers free of charge. And he also, explained how we could access those on the website or through the office or whatever it might be. And after that session, we had one of our networking opportunities. I hope some of you had a chance to participate in that. And one of the things that came up in the networking session was the fact that there's still so much information on the internet that is false and inaccurate, and the question was what can we do about that? And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about a new initiative that the IWMF has launched to sort of address that particular issue. We were fortunate to be able to convince Carl Harrington, our former board chair, to come out of his retirement and really lead an effort to address the need to provide accurate and independent and up-to-date information to everyone living with WM, no matter where they lived. And we went about that by reaching out to a number of other partner organizations, including Cancer Care, Cancer Support Community, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, the Lymphoma Coalition, and the Lymphoma Research Foundation. And that group has been meeting over the last year or so to really sort of tackle this issue. And one of the first things that we were able to do is to create a new booklet that is designed specifically for community hematologists and oncologists. The book is entitled Talking with Your Waldenstrom's Macroglobulinemia Patients. I don't know if you can see that, but there it is. It was co-authored by Doctors Jorge Castillo and Shana Sarosic at Dana-Farber, and endorsed by all of our partner organizations. So the first thing we're going to do is actually mail this booklet to 18,000 community hematologists and oncologists throughout the U.S. And the purpose here is to provide them with easy to access information that will help them answer questions that their patients may have. So our first step is to do a mailing to actually get the booklet in the hands of the healthcare providers. And then we have a series of sort of follow-up strategies that we think will help us with this really physician outreach effort. The next thing we will do is partner with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society to conduct a podcast, targeted at that same audience. And then, following that, we're also working to create a special WM section on the Lymphoma Hub website, which is a really highly regarded resource for healthcare providers. So that will be, I think, a real addition and something that will be valuable, especially to the community community oncologists and hematologists, throughout the country. And then finally, we'll be offering some CME and CE programs, in conjunction here again with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So up to now, all of our efforts have been really U.S. based and focused in the U.S., but we do plan to expand this program globally, and you will be hearing much more about it in the coming months. And so please stay tuned. Can we see the first slide? Terrific. Before we really get started in our program, I really wanted to take the opportunity to thank and recognize this year's Ed Forum Planning Committee. They have just done an incredible job, and so their names are up here, and it's worth recognizing them. I wish we were together in person so that they could come up on the stage and receive the recognition and thanks that they deserve. But since we can't do that, we'll do this instead. But we had a great group, including Maureen Beck, Donna Catillo, Pete DeNardis, some guy named Newton, David Kahn, Sarah Mckinney, Michelle Postic, Alex Redmond, Julie Richardson, Sharon Rivet, Rick Savoy, Eileen Sullivan, Robin Tucker, and Lisa Wise. And this group has been working really, really hard over the last 9 months to plan and implement a program really designed to reflect the Ed Forum theme of living, learning, and thriving with WM. They started their whole process by taking a look at last year's evaluations and use that information to identify and prioritize those topics that are most important to you. They created our theme, knowing that it was just as important for the Ed Forum to be a community building experience as well as an educational opportunity. Then they set out to recruit just an outstanding faculty to really bring you the information that you need. And in the middle of all that, they successfully managed the transition from what we thought was going to be a live and in-person event in Seattle yesterday and today to a completely virtual event. And they did that. They took it in stride and made it all work out. So hats off to all of them. There are a couple of folks in that group that I'd like to say a special thank you to. First is Sarah Mckinney. Sarah is the IWMF manager of meetings and partner engagement, and she really led the process, the entire planning process, and guided the committee, throughout this whole planning process. And in addition to Sarah, I'd like to recognize Maureen Beck, who is our digital and creative services manager. Maureen really led the process of producing this online virtual event using this platform that you see now, with the goal in mind that we wanted to make this as engaging as we possibly could for all of our attendees. I think we've done that and done that very, very well, and it's almost as good, close to being as good as an in-person event. So hats off to that entire group for everything that they've done. Next slide, please. I'd also like to thank our sponsors for being really such great partners, with the IWMF in everything that we do, and especially for their generous support in this Ed Forum, so that we could provide this program to all of our attendees at no cost. So really a very, very special thank you to our title sponsor, Beijing, and our contributing sponsors, Selectar Biosciences, Pharmacyclics and Janssen, the Treadway Foundation, and X4 Pharmaceuticals. So we do hope you'll have a chance to stop in the networking lounge this afternoon to connect with fellow attendees. That was really, I think, a terrific opportunity yesterday. So please try to take advantage of that. And all you need to do is just click on the tab at the top of your screen, and you're in. And don't forget that today's program closes with the always popular Ask the Doctor session. We're all looking forward to that. But please know that if you have any additional questions for the Ask the Doctors panel, please go ahead and put those in the chat. We will not be taking any live questions actually during that session. Next slide. So if you haven't already signed up for this year's Walk for Waldenstrom, it's not too late. On Sunday, September the 18th, we'll have an opportunity to come together virtually to raise money for the IWMF, and at the same time increase awareness about WM. So please join us, and we encourage you to visit the Walk for Waldenstrom's exhibit. You can do that by just clicking on the tab here again at the top of your screen, and find the Walk for Waldenstrom exhibit, and I think it will give you all the information that you need to know. So to kick things off, I just want to invite everyone to really sit back and enjoy a short video of what living, learning, and thriving with WM is all about.
What does WM mean to me? I think it means uncertainty, because I don't know if or when I need to treat again.
I was diagnosed back in 2006, and it was a scary time, as you all know, getting diagnosed with a rare disease that you've never heard of, with a name you can't pronounce.
27 years ago, I was diagnosed with Waldenstrom's at age 45. At first, my husband and I were devastated, and with very little information available to us, there wasn't much to cushion the blow.
When I was diagnosed 9 years ago, at the age of 48, I was told I had 5 to 7 years to live.
Some terms that come to mind when I think of WM are, WM is a death sentence, because initially I was given 6 years to live and was told to get my affairs in order. That statistic, fortunately, has increased dramatically over the years.
So my WM diagnosis in 2018 has forever changed me. I think the most obvious impact has been I'm much better at being in the moment and appreciating each day. I'm certainly not perfect, but I tend to not sweat the small stuff anymore the way I did before my diagnosis.
I had 2 teenagers, a mom with dementia, and a thriving marketing agency. I knew my life was not over, nor would I be defined by cancer.
When I was first diagnosed, it was really kind of traumatic, and I didn't think I was going to live until the end of that first year in 2002. But as you can see, I have a young grandson plus 4 others, and a lot of good things have happened.
Eventually, I found a small organization online run by a guy named Arnie Smokler, who immediately sent me a fat packet of information. That allowed me to learn what questions I needed to ask. We all know now that small organization is what grew into the amazing IWMF.
The treatments have improved significantly, and we're almost at the point of WM being a long-term manageable chronic condition. WM is an opportunity to meet others around the world facing the same disease, to make new friends among those who are traveling the same journey, and to volunteer and give back to the IWMF that has done so much for me and my family over the years.
And with the vast majority of information out there on videos from the professionals and especially the support group, I don't know if I would have been able to get through this last almost 3 years.
every morning I start with just that feeling of thankfulness, like, what am I grateful for? And you can even write yourself little notes, put them in a jar. And then when you're not feeling that well, you pull them out and you realize there are so many blessings. I know having Waldenstrom's is challenging. I'm blessed to be through my chemo and my immunotherapy treatments. So hang in there. It will get better, and just keep that positive attitude.
Like, people sometimes look at me like I'm crazy when I say this, but I believe I'm going to live a longer and healthier life as a result of getting cancer. So, now I understand that there will be some bumps in the road over the course of the next several years and decades, hopefully decades ahead. But I think in the end, I've learned that it is possible to still live a long, healthy, and fulfilling life, even with a cancer diagnosis. By taking good care of my body, working closely with my doctors, and taking advantage of all of the advancements being made in these new therapies.
The IWMF has been critical to me. And it's always the one thing I can say about the IWMF is with the IWMF, you're never alone. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, doesn't matter who you are, you can always reach out to the IWMF 24/7.
The IWMF has provided me with so much knowledge and made me realize I need to be my own advocate about my health.
I've had lots of treatment over the years, much of it quite difficult. But as I'm fond of saying, I'm still here and doing very well these days.
Very shortly after Don was diagnosed, we were pretty freaked out when he got the diagnosis. And when we went to our first Ed Forum and saw so many people there, we were greatly relieved. He's in his 20th year now, and we're so grateful for the support we've always gotten from the IWMF. They're a wonderful group.
Wow. I mean, each of those folks are just truly inspirational, and we thank you so much for sharing your stories. One other just quick reminder. We realized that a couple of our session surveys yesterday did not get launched, so please take a few minutes to complete those today. You can access them by clicking on the survey tab. That information will just be so important to the whole planning process for next year. It'll be so important as feedback, for our presenters and for the IWMF team. So please take a few minutes to fill those out. Now it is my pleasure to call on Pete DeNardis, IWMF Board Chair, who is going to present this year's Judith May Volunteer Award. So Pete.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the second day of the IWMF Ed Forum. And today it's my distinct honor and pleasure to announce the 2022 recipient of the Judith May Volunteer Award, which is Marcia Klepac. This annual award recognizes the spirit of volunteerism that Judith May so aptly demonstrated throughout her 20-year career with the IWMF, including leadership in member services, research, advocacy, and as president of the IWMF from 2005 to 2012. I'm sure yesterday you found Marcia's words inspiring regarding patient advocacy and her own experience with WM and the way she chose to approach communicating with her doctors and medical professionals about the best treatment for her. Marcia was diagnosed in January 2001 and began treatment in August 2002. Since then, she's had 12 different treatments, including 8 clinical trials, all in the quest to get her WM symptoms under control. In fact, her current health status is better than at any time since diagnosis due to a combination therapy she has of ibrutinib of 140 milligrams a day and venetoclax at 400 milligrams, and her IgM is at the lowest point in 21 years. So her efforts, her unfailing efforts, have definitely paid off for her in her current situation. She began volunteering for the IWMF in 2007 as support group co-leader with Sherry Hall for Eastern Ohio, West Virginia, and Western Pennsylvania. It was actually there that I first met Marcia at the support group meeting. We're actually both from Pittsburgh area. And that meeting had Dr. Gabriel as a guest speaker. Marcia also served on the IWMF board for 6 years between 2012 and 2018 and worked very hard to set up a strong national support group network and developed educational and training opportunities for support group leaders. You might find it interesting to know that Marcia had talked to the founder of the IWMF, Arnie Smokler, back in 2000 when her father was diagnosed with WM just 6 months before she was. While she never got to meet Arnie in person, she did meet the subsequent IWMF president, Ben Rood, at her first Ed Forum in 2002. Marcia is retired now, but continues to serve as co-leader of our local support group and encouraging fellow WMers to be strong advocates for their own health. She lives with her husband, Glenn, in Pittsburgh, has 2 children, Jason and Lauren, and 1 new grandson, Otto, who is 5 weeks old. She loves gardening and travel, although like for many of us, travel is a bit curtailed due to COVID, and is passionate about patient empowerment and social justice issues. Thank you, Marcia, for doing such an amazing job of supporting all of us over the years. It's through your efforts that the IWMF support group network is as strong as it is today, and that, more importantly, those support group meetings are an appropriate and effective blend of providing comfort, support, and education to WM patients and caregivers. Your guidance has been critical in making the support group network what it is today. So congratulations, Marcia, and this is an honor much well deserved.
Thank you so much, Pete, for those very kind words. Your leadership is truly inspirational to all of us. I am deeply honored and humbled by this award. I'll see if you can see the award here, maybe. Anyway, volunteering for the IWMF was a special gift to me at a time when I had to retire early due to the demands of treatment. And I just feel so privileged to be just a very tiny part of the amazing work of this organization. And I wanted to comment on the Glass Award, which is stunning. I tried to show it before, but see if you can see it now. There's a special connection with this award. It is made by Matt Janke, a talented glassblower in Atlanta, who happens to be the brother of my good friend and support group co-leader, Sherry Hall. So there is an extra special meaning behind this. And I just wanted to go back in time a little bit and reflect on how the IWMF supported me. So Pete mentioned my phone call to Arnie Smokler, which was such a very important call at a time when our family was feeling so vulnerable with both of us being diagnosed almost at the same time. And so that helped to empower me to take on this challenge of dealing with Waldenstrom's, coping with it, and managing. And I was so appreciative of that first phone call. And then our family found the local support group with Sherry Hall and Bob Shaffrey as co-leaders. So actually, 5 of us attended that first support group meeting, and we received so much hope from the stories that were shared there. And it just really helped to reduce our anxiety. And then, since then, I have experienced the support and encouragement from being a member of the support group and the special opportunity that I've had to be a co-leader with Sherry over the past 15 years. And thinking back to the early days on the talk list, I just have such wonderful memories. 2001, it was just a very scary time. The treatment options were so limited, and a few people like me were not responding to those treatments. So we were there for each other. We supported each other. And it's just amazing to me the progress that we've made from 2001 to the present. And I could get very emotional just thinking about where we are, and that we can actually now think about having a normal life expectancy, which was just totally out of the question back then. I mean, I had my plans for, just living here maybe a month at a time, and now we're in a much better situation. And I remember the early ed forums, which were a wonderful opportunity for us to gather and to make new friends and to just feel uplifted by being together. And I hope that at some point we can get back to that, depending on COVID. But for now, these online forums are just a wonderful opportunity for us to meet each other. And I want to offer my special thanks to Carl Harrington and Elena Malunas for their guidance and inspiration when I was on the board. And very special gratitude to all of the support group leaders that I worked with, who touched me very deeply with their compassion and their dedication. So my heartfelt thanks to all of you for the friendship and the memories and the support and the opportunity to be involved with such an outstanding organization. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcia. Yes. You're, what I neglected to mention is that you've also, interestingly enough, been involved in the Judith May Volunteer Award right from the beginning when you helped to set it up. So it's kind of fitting that you become a recipient of it, because it was through your efforts that we started to recognize the people that from around the world that go above and beyond in supporting other WM patients and caregivers. So congratulations again. And
thank you, Pete. It's been an honor. Really an honor.
And hopefully we'll be able to get together here, even though it's kind of funny. We live on opposite ends of the city of Pittsburgh, and it would be nice to get together in person at the support group meeting at some point in the future again. It's kind of strange.
Those were wonderful times. Maybe yeah. I've been thinking about the walk,
Yep.
And COVID, and our numbers are coming down now, so.
Right. We can walk socially distanced, except it's the same day as a big football game in Pittsburgh. So we'll have to figure something out.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well,
thank you.
Let's see. We'll wrap this up, and just want to tell everyone to please stay tuned. Make sure that you stick around for the next session, which is cancer and mental health. But to do that, you have to close the current webcast window and navigate to the Theater tab on the top of your screen. Then you select the red Live Now button. So please enjoy the rest of the program today, and don't forget at the very end will be the Ask the Doctors. Don't forget to do your surveys, and also don't forget to participate in the Walk for Waldenstroms come September. Be looking forward to sharing that event with all of you. Take care, everyone.